Let me ask you something. Have you ever looked at a millionaire and thought they must have inherited that money, or they must earn a massive salary? What if I told you that you're wrong? According to Dave Ramsey's National Study of Millionaires, which surveyed over 10,000 wealthy Americans, only 31% of millionaires earned an average annual income of $100,000 over their careers. Even more surprising, 1/3 of these millionaires never reached an annual six-figure income. You don't need a massive paycheck to become a millionaire. You need a system, discipline, and time. And today, I'm going to show you exactly how to build that system. The number of millionaires in America reached 23.8 million in 2024, according to the UBS Global Wealth Report. Over 379,000 new millionaires were created in the U.S. in 2024 alone, more than 1,000 people per day. Almost 70% of the world's newest billionaires are self-made, meaning they established their fortunes themselves rather than inheriting them. The path is real, and it's available to ordinary people who make extraordinary choices. So what separates the people who become millionaires from everyone else? Let me give you the blueprint. Step 1. This is the most important lesson. A 2025 Goldman Sachs report found that 40% of households earning $500,000 or more still felt like they were living paycheck to paycheck. They let lifestyle inflation consume them. They earn more, so they spend more. Bigger house, nicer car, more expensive restaurants, and they end up exactly where they started. Broke. 1/3 of the millionaires in Dave Ramsey's survey never earned a six-figure income in a single year. They reached millionaire status not by earning more, but by keeping more. Teachers outranked doctors in the list of top occupations among millionaires. Let that sink in. Teachers, with average salaries far below doctors, were more likely to become millionaires because of their behavior, not their income. Certified public accountant Eleanor Victorioso put it perfectly. What separates the millionaires from everyone else is the people who are grounded in their strategy and can follow a boring plan when their nervous system is screaming at them to do something dramatic and quick. A high salary isn't a good predictor of becoming a millionaire. Spending habits are. Step 2. Control your spending. The underconsumption lifestyle. Financial influencer J.C. Rodriguez, who interviews quiet millionaires on the street, found that they almost all share one simple habit. They build wealth through consistent, long-term saving and investing, rather than chasing quick wins. They are millionaires just walking amongst us. These are ordinary Americans who have spent decades living below their means and investing steadily. Fortune magazine recently profiled millionaires who live an underconsumption life. They drive second-hand cars, batch cook, and never buy new clothes. Warren Buffett is famous for driving a 2014 Cadillac covered in damage from a hailstorm. Bill Gates drives an electric Fiat 500 gifted to him by Bono. Mr. Beast sleeps in his office and had to borrow money from his mom to pay for his wedding. These people aren't depriving themselves, they're prioritizing their future. Rachel Cruz calls this the pause rule. Before you make any unplanned purchase, wait 24 hours, or a week, or even a month to see if you still want it. Most of the time, the urge passes. Wells Fargo's 2025 money study found that 86% of people want to spend more intentionally. Quiet millionaires follow this practice and avoid impulse spending, which can drain your money even through small purchases. Step 3. Create a written financial plan. Saying you want to be wealthy won't get you there. You need a plan on paper. Certified financial planner Stuart Welch says the written plan forces you to do something, calculate what you need to earn and how to invest. Your plan should include tracking your income and expenses, listing all your debts, assessing your savings and investments, setting clear financial goals, and creating a budget that aligns with those goals. Most people fail to become millionaires because they've never defined what enough actually is. Without that definition, lifestyle creep absorbs every raise, every bonus, every commission. Define your essential monthly spending, then protect the gap between what you earn and what you spend. Step 5. Build the saving habit. Mark Hamrick, senior economic analyst at Bankrate, says, think of saving money as a way of paying yourself first. Before you pay any bill, before you buy anything, you set aside money for your future self. Even if it's just $20 a month, consistency is what matters. One married couple interviewed by Rodriguez achieved millionaire status despite starting their adult life with a mountain of debt from student loans, a mortgage, and a car payment. Over time, they paid off their debt and have been debt-free for a long time. They didn't do it with a high income. They did it with consistent behavior. Step 5. Invest early and consistently. Tori Dunlap became a multi-millionaire by age 27. Her first piece of advice: invest as soon as possible. She opened a Roth IRA and maxed it out every year. For 2025, the annual Roth IRA contribution limit is $7,000 if you're under 50. Even if maxing out feels unrealistic, start with whatever you can afford. Rodriguez emphasizes, starting young, that's really the key. Time in the market is more important than timing the market. One retired accountant couple he interviewed said their strategy was to avoid investing all their money in trendy stocks, a diversified equity portfolio. Don't put 50% of your money in one company. Invest in low-cost index funds or ETFs that track the S&P 500. The stock market has returned an average of about 10% per year over the last 30 years. Over any 20-year period, it has produced positive returns. The market goes up and the market goes down, but over long periods, it goes up. Step 6. Increase your income, but don't spend it. Matthew Tran, founder of Birchberry, made a conscious decision to reinvest nearly every dollar of profit back into his company. While most people spend extra money on new cars or fancy vacations, Tran knew that if he wanted to build something lasting, he needed to keep his focus on scaling. He also invested significantly in his own learning, courses on web development, digital marketing, and customer psychology. Damon John, who turned a $40 budget into a $6 billion fashion empire, says the first step is to set goals, but let them evolve. His goal changed from become a millionaire to design a clothing line that represented the hip-hop community he loved. When you focus on passion and excellence, the money follows. Chris Kirksey, CEO of Direction, emphasized that millionaires are intentional about how they spend their time. They read, exercise, wake up early, prioritize tasks, set goals, and dedicate time to deep thinking. None of these are about making money directly. They're about becoming the kind of person who can make money.
Step 7. Adopt millionaire habits. Thomas Corley's Rich Habits study found that 88% of millionaires dedicate at least 30 minutes daily to self-education, reading books on personal development or industry trends. Compare that to just 2% of poor people. The wealthy aren't smarter, they're more curious. They refuse to stay stagnant. According to data from Humphrey Yang, 97% of poor people eat more than 300 calories of junk food per day, whereas 70% of wealthy people eat less than 300 calories of junk food per day. The wealthy fuel their bodies differently because they understand that health is wealth. You can't perform at your best if you're running on sugar and processed garbage. Entrepreneur data shows 88% of wealthy people credit their habits for their success. Daily goals keep you disciplined, helping you focus on high-impact tasks instead of wasting hours on emails, social feeds, pointless meetings. One retired accountant interviewed by Rodriguez said their strategy was to avoid investing all their money in trendy options and stick to a diversified equity portfolio. That's discipline. The math that changes everything. Let me show you the numbers so you can see how realistic this is. If you start with $1,000 and contribute $500 a month, earning a 7% average annual return, you'll reach $100,000 in about 11 years. The second $100,000 takes only about 5 years. The third takes about 3.5 years. By the time you're at $500,000, each additional $100,000 takes just over 2 years. The first $100,000 is the hardest. Once you cross that milestone, the compounding engine kicks in and the timeline shrinks dramatically. If you start at age 25 and invest $500 a month until age 65 at a 7% return, you'll have over $1.2 million. If you can increase your contributions as your income grows, you'll have even more. The key is to start early and stay consistent. Ramit Sethi talks about the difference between learning and entertainment. Saving motivational quotes on Instagram doesn't count as learning. Real investment shows up in two places: your calendar and your spending. If you're serious about improving, you'll spend actual money on books, courses, or coaching, and block out time to apply what you learn. Your action plan. So, what do you do right now? First, calculate your net worth. Assets minus liabilities. Be honest. Second, pick your next milestone. If you're at $500, your next milestone is $1,000. If you're at $10,000, your next milestone is $25,000. Always have a target. Fourth, automate your savings. Set up an automatic transfer from your checking account to your investment account on every payday, even if it's $50. Fifth, invest in low-cost index funds. Don't try to mine the market. Just buy consistently, month after month, year after year. Fifth, stay the course. The market will go up and down. Your emotions will go up and down, but your system should stay the same. Final words. I know this journey feels long. I know it feels impossible sometimes. You look at people who are already millionaires and think, I'll never get there. But here's the truth. Every millionaire started where you are. They started with nothing or close to nothing. They made mistakes. They had setbacks. They doubted themselves, but they kept going. And that's the only difference between someone who becomes a millionaire and someone who doesn't. The millionaire didn't quit. The Millionaires J.C. Rodriguez interviews drive used cars, live in modest homes, and never buy new clothes. They don't look rich. They don't act rich. They just are rich. Quietly, steadily, and permanently. So, don't quit. Start today. Save your first $1,000, then your first $10,000, then your first $100,000. And one day, you'll look at your net worth statement and see a number with 7 digits, and you'll realize that the journey was worth every single step. If this video gave you a roadmap, hit the like button so more people can see it. Share it with a friend who needs to start their journey. Subscribe for more real, practical financial advice. And remember, the only difference between where you are and where you want to be is a system and the discipline to follow it. Let's build your first million, starting now.